Hi there, and welcome to my channel. We have finally arrived to the middle of the season of The Gilded Age, and what an episode! Throughout the season, we got to see the theme of love and money slash power, and how one affected one another, especially the upper class in the period. And to me, every single storyline is linked to one of those three things. No, more on that later. On this video, I want to talk about the four previous episodes and my predictions and expectations for the next four. So, let's begin. First, let's start with the main plot that is of Gladys's wedding. Oh my gosh, what a gorgeous, it was just gorgeous. The church, the bridesmaids, the guests, just beautiful. But the vibes are not there. The vibes are off. And I guess that's to show you, just how much beautiful something it is, but in the essence it's rotten. And even though I knew that the wedding would be happening, I was second guessing myself until the moment that she walked down the aisle. And her tears just broke me. We seeing through the veil with her just broke me. I was in tears with her. And I really want for them to be happy together. I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but that's the hope. That's the pray, that's the hope. I mean, we see that he's not a bad person per se, but I don't really think they're very suited for each other. Gladys agreed to the marriage, being just completely heartbroken from the Billy situation and wanting independence for her mother. So her mindset was not in the right place. His mindset, wanting money, basically. There is no other way of saying. And we know that the character that she's based on is Consuelo Vanderbilt. And if they're going to follow her life, I really feel for Gladys, because she was in an unhappy marriage. Both had affairs. They got divorced to marry other people. They tried to get the marriage annulled at some point. It was just really messy. And what I really want to see is if the downfall of the Russell Empire would affect the marriage, especially with the conversation between Hector and Bertha. More on Bertha later on. She has really outdone herself with that one, but if they continue the marriage and that expectation and this expansion of the company just doesn't work out, how that affect Gladys in England, besides the whole family? We see that JP Morgan has back out of the investment. Everybody is doubting it. I mean, George has never really feared losing it all. It's even one of the best plots for the first season, but now everything is pointing in that direction. That is maybe the end of the Russell family as we know it. And which I cannot stop imagining, how would that make Bertha feel? How would she react? Their marriage is not really doing well, especially for the things that Bertha did for this marriage to happen. I was never really a big Bertha fan, but most of the times she had a good motive for her actions, With this Gladys, though, it seems more like she's playing with her doll. And for her to be so happy when her daughter was literally crying on her way to the altar. But what about Aunt Monica? I really love Meredith Weaver. She always manages to steal the scene, and her interactions with Berta were great. And I got really curious about their background. We know that Bertha is at least insecure about it. Larry tries to make a joke, and this first season, and George comes to her defense. And if they based her on Alva Vanderbilt, she had a very comfortable upbringing, not really upper class, but nothing to complain about. And it seems that Birth was a little different, so I'm really curious to see if they explore that more, especially to see Turner being curious about it. I truly wonder. And speaking of Larry, he's not doing so much this season. The first One, he had the whole architect plot. The second season, he had the whole affair. So this he's laying low for the moment. He went into business with our baby Jack and finally got with Miriam. I mean, we expected that since the pilot, I at least. So finally, to see them together, oh, it's just beautiful. And I don't think we get the wedding. It's not gonna happen this season at least. But I think a public engagement. We do see on the trailer. This is a little spoiler alert. Just skip a few seconds. But we see in the episode that Miriam gets disappointed with him for something. So maybe the independence, having money of his own, maybe that will affect him in some way. Let's hope not, because I really love this couple. But now going into the Van Ryan Forte household, Ada really seems to me to be destined to spoil her fortune away. The way that Agnes stopped the fortune teller and trying to make Ada see reason, it was just incredible. I mean, we know that she's vulnerable, we know that she's naive. I don't think that she was never meant to control a fortune. Especially the way she gained it. She didn't really want it or work for it, and that and the contrast with Agnes, I mean, I would love to make a video about it. Please put it in the comments if you like for me to make sort of an analysis or commentary in their relation, because, oh, their relationship is just a lot. I have a lot of things to say about it. But going back to Jack, it's really interesting to me, because even though he gained so much money, he doesn't know what to do with himself. His parents are dead, he has no contact with his brother, and the servants at that time period spent so much time just working that they rarely had lives outside the household or even time to imagine or dream about it. The downstairs crew in the house is very friendly and close to each other, even with Mrs. Armstrong. So I do wonder how would that play out, if he would move out, if he would continue to work for them. No, really, really wonders me. And just for a point of reference, $300 in the Gilded Age, it's between $8 and $12 million today. So imagine going from minimum wage to multiple millions. Multiple millions. It changes people. It maybe changes people. So I like that he is getting a moment to figure out what he will do, what the next moves are, especially because I think he likes to work, not necessarily as a footman, but I think, he likes to make inventions, work sort of as an engineer of sorts. So I think he will continue to do that. I really do hope he ends up with Bridget. But let's see. The divorces are also very high right now in this season. Now we are seeing from different perspectives. Aurora and Charles, Lena's daughter. We saw it last season with Monsieur Baudin. Now just a side comment. Aurora's divorce truly came out of nowhere. Truly. She was not the only one who was shocked. Lena's daughter, I mean, gave us some signs. They really spread out the situation. We saw something in the pilot, then we saw a little more throughout the episodes. But Aurora and Charles? Oh my gosh. Some plots for this season were set up in the previous ones, but them? Oh my gosh, couldn't even imagine. Peggy and Mr. Kirkland. Now, this is my favorite storyline for Peggy. Really, for me, it's something really new to talk about in that time period. Talk about colorism within the Black communities and other types of discrimination. It's really something. I don't see the two of them going the distance, especially with a mother like that. But even so, it's been the best arc for Peggy. in my opinion, especially because we can see, her situations are always so alien the rest of the the rest of the cast. So to me, this has been the best one so far. I don't know yet how would they make it, but I like it. And with that, we finish this video. I really hope you all have enjoyed it. If you have thoughts or suggestions, please leave it in the comments. I'm really excited to do more videos like this. I really hope you guys like it. I do really enjoy talk about this show. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. And I really hope that I can continue to do it. So please subscribe and bye.